Morning traders, and this is your South African top 40 daily review, the Aussie or the JSE as some know it. So we got a massive day yesterday. We had a 1,000-point move to the downside, or 1,100-point move to the downside before buyers stepped in, and you can see the buyers were coming in off the 200 EMA. Okay, remember the blue line is the 200 SMA. This level here is not really a level. It's the close of, when was this? Monday, is it? No, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Yeah, so this was the actual close of Monday because I've got incorrect data on the chart, which makes this tail. So why I've got it in is just to highlight the diversions here. We've got a low where price is making a high, and now we've got a higher low with this. So we have diversions on the daily, and we're coming off, I'm not going to call it a level, but you can see there is a couple of inside tails here. Okay, quite a few in actual fact. And if we go to the left, you'll see we've got a bit of a swing high here and more swing lows here. So that is a pretty significant level that we've bounced off. Now the trick is to see whether this is going to be a bounce or not. Now, looking at the European and US markets at the moment, there are daily wedges and 4-hour wedges all over the place. So I'm suspecting that either the politics around the trade war is going to get resolved very quickly and unexpectedly, which is going to cause a massive bounce in markets, or alternatively, we're going to go into a consolidation phase before the next leg down. Okay, so for this at the moment, if we just look what we have here, and here you can see incorrect data, and this close here is also incorrect, but where we actually close is correct. So anyway, for some reason the last 5-minute candle quite often on most of the markets ends up being this massive gap down and rally, and then GC24 tidies it up the next day. But anyway, so for me right now, this is the pattern I'm looking at, this inside bar. And I think if we just pop down to something like the 5-minute, then you can see what I mean. So you can see the market's already closed, and all of a sudden we get this massive candle, which actually means nothing. Okay, so we closed up on our high here. And you can see we've sort of formed a W bottom or a double bottom. So there's the top, first leg, second leg, and we've broken up above it. Okay, so there's nothing. You see how confusing this can be if you're not aware of what's going on in the market. The same as on the hour, you've got, that's your pattern there. Okay, so we came down, we formed a triangle of sorts. So a break to the downside would have been continuation, but we broke to the upside. And you can see here we had diversions here as well. And we've got a crossover of stochastics here. Okay, in relation to the moving average on the hour, we are still in a downward trend. But as I said, got inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, then a breakout. So this here is a bullish reversal pattern. When we look at it on the 4-hour, I have inside bar, which is a bullish reversal pattern. Okay. And we come down to the 30-minute. You'll see we had a pretty good rally. And again, watch the oscillators, watch the diversions here. That's all I'm using Williams percentage R for, is looking for diversions and also just giving me an indication when it is grouped to the top or the bottom as at the same time that the stochastics are grouped. Because that is always the warning that I need to adhere to. Okay, so we had this grouping most of the day yesterday, and then we rallied off. Okay, so it always gives you the warning, and there was a good, 1, 2, 3.5 hours of warning here. Okay, so as it stands now, I am going to use these levels here. That's my first buying level. And I would assume without this bar here, we would have had a bit of a crossover or almost a crossover on the moving averages, which is something that I'm looking for. So what I'd ideally be looking for is a little bit of a pullback to 49,915. 49,915. If we get a pullback to that level and hold that level, that would give me some confidence to look for a move to the upside. Now, if I look at the closing range, that's a good 250 points. But as I said, of lately, the closing range has been working both sides. If you look at it, every single one of them, it's been both sides of the closing range recently. So that to me is just a sign of confusion. Okay. So what I'm looking for here is at least a little bit of a pullback and then a rally. Okay, we'll probably be able to use the 15-12 minutes for this. And you can see that is a breakout on the 12 minute. So I'd want to see a pullback to this area. And the oscillator is indicating that there is a bit of a pullback coming on the shorter time frame. So this is where I start looking for my entry for a swing trade. Okay, been waiting for this one on the Aussie for a bit. And it looks like it is starting to set itself up. Okay, so in other words, I'm still looking for a move to the downside. It may also come down and test even deeper. So it could come, let's rather pick that up off the hour. So yeah, we can come down all the way down to there, or I can do that. Okay, so that is my ideal world right now. I want to see a bit of a pullback. I've got a crossover on the hour here. I've got diversions. So for me, there should be a move to the upside. And the most logical move to the upside is going to be a retest of that fractal there. Okay, so let's just get those levels off the half hour. So we're looking for an entry somewhere off 49,915, 49,800, or worst case scenario 49,700, and I'm looking for a target of 53.20. Now, what may transpire today is we may open flat, and I'll just have a look at what's going on. Okay, 10 cents down 0.61%, and rand dollar is 14.24, so that's relatively flat. US markets were up around 0.5% last night. I want to see the Nasdaq. Nasdaq was up 1.3% yesterday. So you're probably going to get a bit of a continuation of this rally. Maybe only as far as 53.20, and then get our pullback. Pullback may only come to close the gap. It may drop further. We need to just pay attention to what's going on. So I'd use the 12-15 minutes just to pick up what's going on. You could possibly even use the 30 minutes as well if we get this kind of price action again. Okay, so basically expecting it to continue this move and then start looking for support or resistance, should I say. And those are the two areas. Yeah. But I'll be surprised if it rallies all the way up to 5,600 without a little pullback. So I'm looking for a small pullback. It's got to find some resistance somewhere. So the most logical target is 5,300, 5,320. And then what we're looking for is another short to come back down into one of these levels here. Okay, now, just to look for my confirmation, what I would do is pretty much go and look at the ichimoku. Okay, now you can look at the ichimoku on the 12-15 minutes because that's going to give you the first signal, because now you can see the rules of ichimoku are quite simple. Price typically, or let's not say always, but majority of the time, will bounce off the cloud. But the cloud's very thin here, so there is a possibility that it can get through. A lot of times it'll get through the cloud, find its a support level, And if you look here, you'll see there are a couple. Okay, so breakthrough, then come back to test the break of the cloud. If that holds, then rally. Even come back to test the bottom of the cloud and then rally. And you'll find that that bottom of the cloud lines up with a number of levels. Okay, so all the cloud is an indication of a resistance and support. And if I go through the different time frames, you can see Keegers and Dickinson far apart on the 30 minutes. So trend is still down. Same as on the half hour, trend is also still down. And if we look at the 4 hour, trend is still down to a degree, although it has flattened out and they're quite far apart. So that's an indication that something may be brewing. And lastly, if we look at the daily, we're bouncing off the inside cloud of the daily, although we've had a bearish crossover here. Okay, so putting that all together, let's get back to putting that all together, what you possibly could see is, let's get center this so we can talk through it. So what you could possibly see is something like that. Okay, so we have a bit of a range going. So it'll find some level somewhere along the line, moves the downside, consolidate, and then more than likely, by the looks of things, going to rally again in the afternoon session. But it could also fall. We've been going massive moves to the upside, massive moves to the downside, massive moves to the upside, and that's just big up, big down, big confusion for most of the week so far. Okay, so that's kind of my bias at the moment is I think it looks like we're finding a bottom and we're starting to build a base. And the next trick is to see whether we're going to break through. And there's a couple of levels to break through, and there's also a diagonal trend line here that needs to be broken through. Okay, so yeah, that's currently my view at the moment. Really looking to find some resistance, move down, gather its thoughts, build a base, preferably off a level that I can trade off. So any one of these levels, the downside here, and then I'm long, small position, big stop loss, let that ride for most of the day, see what happens, see if it can continue to the next day, and then slowly build that position. Okay, reason why it'll be a small position is just in case we've got it wrong, so risk is low. But if we do get it right, we've at least got a start into that position. Also, a small position will also allow me to add, if it does get further down past my position here, build a base and start moving, I can add lower down, which then reduces my overall risk anyway. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Really looking at this as a potential base being formed. But we need to be patient. It could continue like up and down like this for the rest of the week before it forms a base. Okay, so that's it for today. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.